Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Lachauskas. Today's the 8th of June 2018, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this last Traders Tea Time this week. So we're going to have a look at the markets, what's happening with them right now, and of course how to position ourselves for probably next week. So yep, but before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content of this webinar does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Also, a very quick reminder of our JFD Brokers research page here, where you can go in and have a look at different analysis that we do on a daily basis. We throw out different trading shoutouts, just technical analysis on its own, and of course our daily analysis that we throw out early in the morning every day. So yeah, guys, feel free to check us out. I think you can find something useful for yourself here. But for now, let's quickly have a look at the market. So the first one I want to touch on is the FTSE 100. Now, quite an interesting day, let's say, for Friday. And certainly, initially, we were seeing this kind of, we can say, sell-off in early in the morning. Well, early in the morning, during the first half of the day, let's say, we were having this sell-off here, and it seemed that it wanted to go lower here and even maybe touch this 7610 area that I've got highlighted here. Now, certainly we didn't touch that level. We retraced back to the upside here. We moved back above the 7690 mark. So now we're sitting around this area right here at around 7700, just slightly above it. Of course, it's interesting to see where this day is going to close and at what level. We might stay here below this 21 EMA. So probably we might kind of even finish the day with a candle like this, with a small bodied candle. Certainly, in that case, all eyes are on next week. To be honest, at this point, it would be difficult to say what he wants to do next week, because we can see that the bulls and the bears are kind of trying to fight it out and see who gets in control here. But at the moment, it seems like the strengths are even, and currently, yeah, we're just kind of balancing around this 7700. So probably the recommendation here could be the just keep an eye on it, wait for next week, and probably don't do much this week. Similar stories on the DAX as well. So, but the DAX, to be honest, I mean, we can see we're filling up the gap here that we had this morning. So we opened with this huge gap here below, almost around this 12,600 level. So, and now we can see that the index managed to move all the way back, close the gap, and now we're back above this 200 EMA. Certainly, again, keep an eye on the close today, because if we're going to stay below this 200 EMA, now, I mean, this could be maybe a small warning sign for this index. I mean, we could end up moving lower next week again, but certainly, I mean, if we close above this 200 EMA and closer to this 12,830 level that I've got highlighted here, well, I mean, we could get another attempt of breaking this level and then pushing higher again. So for now, guys, probably it would be kind of, let's say, silly to kind of make a trade here today or something, because like I said, this could go either way. I mean, we could maybe see a bit of retracement, or actually we could, continue moving higher. So this area right here is quite tricky, and I would probably recommend to kind of stay away from it and just keep an eye on the close today. Let's see what happens. Let's quickly have a look at gold, and gold is again not giving us much indication on where it wants to continue moving, so continues to trade around this psychological 1300 level, just slightly below it right now, and yeah, of course, I mean, it continues to hold above this long-term long-term upwards moving trend line, and it's currently acting as a nice level of support. So of course, again, was similar story as with those two indices that I've just described. With this one, with gold, I mean, keep an eye on the breakout and the possible levels for the breakout. So a good one to watch here on the upside is the 1307. If we do get a nice break above here, then this could end up moving higher a little bit. So on the downside, we need to see, well, not only a break below this upwards moving trend line now, but also below this 1290 area, so that in order to kind of consider further declines. So for now, guys, keep an eye on it, and let's see what happens with it. Looking at the US oil WTI, and certainly a bit of a mixed trading today. We're kind of going nowhere today, so probably the candle is going to stay like this, and we're going to be waiting for more action during next week. So if we suddenly get back above this trend line, this upwards moving trend line, well, this could be seen as a positive for the WTI, and we could end up moving higher here, maybe even towards this 69.55 area approximately here. Certainly, but for, like I said, for that level, for us to consider that level again, we would need to see a nice close above this upwards moving trend line. On the downside, a nice break below the 64.10 could initiate some more selling, and we could see this commodity moving even lower here, maybe even towards this 61.90 mark. So keep an eye on this one, guys. Keep an eye on these two levels. These two levels could bring something interesting next week. Let's quickly have a look at the euro dollar, and the euro dollar is, well, in the red today. So turned red this morning. Of course, we managed to move towards the 118 mark, but we can see that now we've pushed down, and currently trading slightly above this level here that I've got highlighted. Now, I was talking about this one this morning, and I mean, I told you to guys keep an eye on the 117,500 level. It's currently, we can see that today is going to act as a good level of support. The whole, all trading is going to be now based around this area. And let's see where it wants to close, because, well, not only this 117,500 is a good level of support, but also it coincides with this 21 EMA. So, I mean, if we do get a close below this, then this could be seen as a more of a bearish signal, and we could maybe even see some further declines next week. So, but for now, of course, keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on this 117,500. If we close above this, there could be some potential for this one to reverse back to the upside and move higher again, but probably now in this scenario, and from judging from this picture, we would need to see a nice move here above the 118,250 in order to kind of become more bullish on this one. Yeah, especially a nice close would do that as well. I mean, it could be a good sign as well, a good sign for some bullishness. So I mean, for now, guys, keep an eye on the 117,500. Let's see what he wants to do with that level. If it closes above, yep, well, stay sharp. But if it closes below that, well, we could see some more selling activity coming in next week. Let's quickly touch on GBP USD, and GBP USD, similar story to the euro against the dollar, and we're moving lower. Of course, it's probably less in the red than the euro against the dollar, so, but still, nevertheless, we are currently testing this 133.90 mark approximately there. It's proving to be a good area of support. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on today's close. Let's see where it wants to end this day, and especially this week. So if it's going to close today below this, I mean, there could be some potential for this one to move lower next week, maybe even towards this nice beautiful number of 133, which could act as a good level, good level of support. And then if that doesn't hold, well, we do have a better one here, the 132.05 approximately there, which acted as a good level of support here in the end of May, around, well, to be more precise, the 29th of May. So this was the lowest point in May that we had. So for that, of course, we would need to see a nice break here below the 133, and then we could only consider this 132.05. On the upside, well, I mean, I'm continuing to watch this 134.55 mark, and I keep talking about this level in my previous videos, and so for now, guys, I mean, just continue monitoring it, because like I said, we are at a very tricky spot, and we could maybe reverse and move higher again. Certainly anything can happen here, but at the moment, just judging from this picture, we could probably, I mean, move a little bit lower. Looking at the GBP Aussie, now this is an interesting one, to be honest. I mean, we're at this very good spot here, could potentially get a nice squeeze a nice trade out of this one. If we get a nice break here, and especially a close, well, we already had a break, but we didn't kind of, we keep monitoring this one, and we want to see where today's close is going to come. If we're going to get a nice close here above, well, there is some potential for this one to move higher here, maybe even towards this 178 mark. Good level of resistance here, but if that doesn't hold, well, we do have some better levels here around the 179 mark. So keep an eye on this one, guys. I mean, it has also the same potential to move lower, but we will consider only lower levels if we get a nice break here below this upwards moving, well, this tentative upwards moving support line. And if we do get a break below here, we could also get a break below this 200 EMA, which also could be seen as a bearish sign, and this could open the path towards these lower levels right here. The good one that we're watching is the 173.550, approximately there. Keep an eye on it, guys, but only consider it if we get a nice break here below. Looking at the Aussie dollar, now the Aussie dollar is in selling mode today, getting hit hard, and currently we are seeing that it's getting held here by this line of support here at around 0.75900. Certainly we can see that it kind of pierced through this line today. We managed to touch on the 21 EMA, but the 21 EMA acts as a good level of support. So for now, guys, certainly, again, probably, you know, I'm going to repeat myself, keep an eye on today's close. Let's see what it wants to do with this level. If it's going to stay above here, and actually if it's going to stay above not only the 0.75900 but also above this 50 EMA, well, this could be still looked at as a bullish sign, and I mean, we could end up, you know, reversing back to the upside next week and, you know, testing this upwards moving trend line again. We can see that we had a test of this trend line this week already, specifically Wednesday, but we could end up moving higher again. So I mean, watch out for today's close, of course. If we're going to stay here, if we're going to stay below the 0.75900, I mean, this could be maybe seen as a more bearish sign, and we could end up maybe pushing lower here towards this upwards moving support line, and maybe we could get a test, and then of course we'll have to reevaluate this this pair again and see what it wants to do with that area. One more interesting pair that I really wanted to touch on, guys, is the USD CHF. Now the USD CHF is having a very good day today, and we can see it is pushing away from the lows here, from these lows at 0.978 pushing higher. We managed to reach the 0.98850 approximately there. Quite a good jump here to the upside. We of course we're keeping an eye on the 0.98850. Probably we're going to get a close here below, but still, I mean, we could get a surprise and we can maybe close above this level. Certainly we'll probably end up closing below this upwards moving trend line. Let's probably get rid of this line, to be honest, and we were probably going to close below this, but of course this could be still seen as a bullish sign, maybe something for next week. And if we start getting back above this trend line, well, I mean, again, we could start aiming for higher levels here, and especially if we get a nice break here above the 0.99850. If we get a nice break above this, well, keep an eye on the higher levels. We could end up pushing higher again, but for now, certainly all eyes are on this mark here, the 0.98850. Let's see what it wants to do. If it's gonna start acting as a good level of resistance, maybe we could see a bit of a retracement back down, but for us to become more let's say more bearish on this one, we would need to see a nice break here below this area, below the 0.97 850 approximately there. Keep an eye on it, guys. Keep an eye on this level. If we do get a break here, well, watch out for this 200 EMA as the next potential stop for this pair. Okay, I will have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much, guys, for listening and watching. If you want to join me next week on Monday and my traders espresso at 6 o'clock GMT time, 7 o'clock British summer time. But for now, I hope you enjoyed, well, the rest of the day. Good luck in the US session, and as well, have a good weekend. Bye bye, guys. Thank you.